Welcome back to the Business Simple podcast. It's your host, James, here with another one of the My Thoughts series. I say this at the start of every episode, but I'm actually really liking doing these. It's currently 4:58 on a Friday, and so this is my fourth episode that I've recorded today, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm going to try. I've had an alter ego. I'm going to try hit it with a little bit of intensity and finish strong for you guys. So what I want to talk about today is your get shit done mentality hurting you? This is something that I'm currently actively working through, and I'm really liking talking about stuff that's a little bit more relevant and topical and fresh, because I think it gives me a little bit more energy and that sort of thing when I talk about it. And so what I've basically been thinking about and what we're working with at the moment is, my thoughts are that the typical entrepreneur is a certain type of person, and up until a certain point, being that person is awesome. So you're the type of person that the buck stops with you and you love it. And when you solve the problems and you do a good job of solving the problems, you feel really good about solving the problems, and it gives you a nice dopamine kick and everything feels better. And like you get that high, that rush. It's like closing a deal. It's, something goes wrong, everyone turns to you. You're the person, right? And that's really cool. At a point in time, that becomes detrimental, because there becomes so many decisions and so many things that need to happen at once that you become a roadblock. And then, if you do what I did, you build a senior leadership team, and those people are the same sort of archetype as you, so they all become get shit done people too. And so everyone's just trying to get shit done all the time, and it forces, or it creates an environment where there's a lack of accountability and things like that that's created across the wider team, right? Because they all know that no matter what, someone's going to come through and get shit done at the end and figure it all out. And so if they don't, it doesn't really matter. If they get 85% of the way, someone's going to come through and give it that final 15% and get it there. And so what we're currently working through is essentially the concept, and this is something that I remember from back, my first head chef when I worked in a kitchen when I was like 15, 16 years old. He said to me, if you want something, if you want to find the easiest way to do something, get a lazy person to do it. Now, I'm not calling anyone lazy. I'm not calling anyone on my team lazy. I'm not saying anything like that. But there is a message in that is important. If you get someone who's outgoing to do it, they'll say, yeah, cool, I'll get that sorted, no problems. And they'll build an unscalable solution to the problem. And right? So that solution might look like, sure, instead of working 8 hours a day, I will work 9 hours a day, so that we don't have, that extra hour can go to this extra task you've given me, and it doesn't matter. All good. What happens when you need to add another task and another task and another task? It hits a point eventually where there's so many hours in the day. And then you get 3 more people who all max all their time out trying to get shit done all the time. You've got an unscalable environment. And it's an environment that feels really good in the time, right? Because a lot of things are happening and a lot of things are getting done. But it's also an environment that hurts you a lot later, because you're still actually stuck in the same place doing the same shit, because it's get shit done. You're doing the same shit over and over and over again in perpetuity, and you're not really making any progress because you can't offload it, because you're the guy who does everything, or you're the girl that does everything, and you're stuck completely still. There's no movement. What I instead think is the right thing to do is to give it to someone else and give them sole accountability over it, and just say, this is what the outcome I need to be. Really specifically, this is what I need it done by. This is the kind of level that I expect it to be at. I trust you. Get it done. Get out of the way. Not only then have you gotten it off your plate, and there's an expression from this book that I'm not sure I 100% agree with, but it's that 80% completed with 0% of your time put into it is a win. And I'm not actually a huge fan of the 80% completed piece, but I also think that if every single person had one thing they were worried about and one thing they were responsible over, everything would get done to 110%, rather than you trying to do 20 things by yourself where everything's probably done to like 60 or 50. So by doing that, not only do you empower that person and enable that person to achieve something and do a better job of doing what they're doing and meet your expectations better and over-deliver and all those sorts of things, you also teach that person in a way where when it comes time for them to offload it, they actually know how to do it. So 2 years go past, they are now ready to level up, become a senior person in their role, or do something like that. What do? A junior goes in underneath them. What's the next step then? Well, do they become a get shit done person like you too? Do they just keep doing everything? And does that junior person never get enabled and given the ability to do what they need to do to be better and to grow? Or do they go to that person and they say, here's the task I need you to complete. Here's the standards I expect to be met. Here's when I need it completed by. Here's the regularity of when you do it, blah, blah, blah. And then that junior person steps up, takes that off their plate. And now that senior person's able to do stuff that is more complex and uses more of their skill set and is more valuable as a result of getting that off the plate. So essentially what I'm trying to get to with this episode is that if you're an entrepreneur and you're on the way up and you're in get shit done mode, there is a season where that's appropriate. There's a season where it's necessary. I'd go so far to say it's not just appropriate. You actually don't have a choice. You need to spot when that season is over, and you need to start getting things off your plate. They need to be the right tasks, the tasks that are ones that can easily be substituted out, the tasks where it's easy to find talent and do those sorts of things. If you have a team, but you feel like everything's finishing with you, you need to start enabling your people to take stuff off your plate. They want to. I promise you they want to. They want to see you do well. They want to do well. They want to grow. They want you to grow. Everyone wins in an environment like this. So all you've essentially got to do is just start giving them things and say to them, hey, I want you to take some stuff off my plate and I want you to grow within this business. And are you okay with that? And I don't think many people are going to say no. So start doing that. All of a sudden you'll realize, hey, I have time to play above the rim here a little bit. I have time to sit down in this room and shoot podcasts now because I'm not spending so much time getting shit done over here. My people are becoming better because I'm giving them space to get better, and I'm allowing them room to fail sometimes because it's going to happen. But remember, when you're trying to get shit done and you're doing 20 things at once, you're failing at times too. So your actual outcome's not worse. It's exactly the same. That's the thing that we're focused on right now. And we're seeing huge benefits from it. We've got team members that are stepping up. We've got good things happening as a result. I think as the owner, there is, like I said, that period where you need to control stuff. There's also a period where you need to flip and you need to encourage the transfer of ownership of tasks as aggressively as you can. If people feel uncomfortable and they can't keep up, they'll tell you. And once you get to that point, either add more people, find a person who wants more, or accept the fact that you've probably given them too many things. So anyway, that's my thoughts around your get shit done mentality. Is it helping you? Is it not helping you? It's also, funnily enough, been something that's come up with a lot of the guests that have been on the podcast. They've talked about offloading those tasks and how difficult they've found it. And there's real similar archetypes that are emerging across the people that I'm talking to. So, yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for listening. My closing note is just lean into the negatives that come with getting things off your plate as well. It is a part of it. It's something you need to accept. People will make errors. If they're making errors trying to get things off your plate, it's way better than making errors because they don't have to care, because they know someone will fix it after them. So just accept it. It's a part of things. Give them that accountability and they will learn. Hopefully, you've been able to take something from this episode. Something I'm thinking about a lot. I don't know if I've fully processed it yet, but I'll continue to keep you guys updated as I learn more about it. If you've taken something from this episode, give us a follow. It could be on Instagram, it could be subscribing on YouTube, it could be subscribing on Spotify. We're posting content everywhere all the time. We're also looking for guests. If you'd like to come on board, feel free to shoot me, preferably a DM through Instagram, just under James Digital Simple. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening.